Yeah, congratulations. I guess it's really nice to get rewarded after such a hard working day from everybody you put out there.
Yeah, they played hard, Doug. That's for sure. Right? You gotta really compliment, the whole group there, for putting in the effort. And you're right. It's good to be rewarded for that effort. It took all 48 minutes of work.
Yeah.
Hanging on there, man.
We've all seen, who watch this team closely, Fred's strength, sort of a sneaky strength. And in that fourth quarter defensively, he was as strong as we've seen him all year, do you think?
Well, he sure made a huge play there, right at the end for sure, and he came up with a few other ones. Course of the game, it's really impressive that he can kind of go surprise Sabonis and just rip it away from him sometimes, and he did the same there with Brogdon at the end. But that's, those little things, those little things he can do that make him a special player.
He did seem to bring a sense of calm at the start of the fourth quarter. You'd seen it kind of slipped away a little bit there with Malachi, and you put him back in right at the start of the quarter. What did you see from him then?
Well, you're right. Just steady of the ship, right? We were a little frazzled. We had one of those stretches where we had, some weird turnovers, right? Stanley touches the sideline, makes a three. That's get wiped off. Yuta, I thought, made a good drive, gets called for a travel. Throw that in with a couple blown layups, right? And then they were running it at us pretty hard, so we couldn't really keep the ball out of the paint there for that stretch end of the third quarter. So again, just getting us set up at one end and getting us set up at the other. Doug, defense, getting the defense set too. That's his job as a point guard, and he certainly brought that stability there right when we had to have it.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, Doug. You too, man. Thanks.
Next question goes to Mike Ganter from the Toronto Sun.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Good, thanks. You mentioned before the game maybe hopefully taking away or potentially taking away Sabonis, and then you end up sort of limiting him and limiting Brogdon. What do you attribute that to? Who gets the credit for that?
Well, I think that all those things, Mike, always are a combination of things, but they're always a team thing, right? Because you're into so many schemes. But if you want to give Sabonis, you got to give OG and Stanley credit. They were on him most. I thought Aaron as well did a great job when he was in there. And I just think we were the rest of the guys were just kind of pests enough, right? Just couldn't turn free hardly at all. And so that, that gives a lot of other guys credit as well. And then the Brogdon thing, I don't know. We had, again, same thing, bunch of guys guarding him, and we just, other than a few times he beat us around and laid it in, beat us around the side or turned down the middle. We did a decent job of keeping him up front, or we sent some help to challenge on the weak side and made his layups and stuff pretty tough.
You got contributions from so many different guys in this game. I'm almost hesitant to bring one guy up, but if you could just speak a little bit about what Yuta did for you today and his impact on the game.
Yeah, he just, again, that's kind of Yuta right there, right? He's just given a supreme effort, never stops running, never stops cutting. He's always on the glass. He's coming up with loose balls. That's kind of his thing, right? He does have some shooting ability, as you guys see. He makes one here, and the other ones come off, and he had a couple go in and out on him. Unfortunately, blew one layup that he made a really nice move on too. So he does have a little bit of a scoring. It's not like he's a non-offensive player. He's got a little bit of scoring with him too. That'll come when he gets a little more comfortable, I think, out there. But just love the energy, cutting, and just hustle plays, really.
All right. Thanks, Nick. Congrats.
You just took all the questions from the Japanese reporters there, Mike, but
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I see a few on here tonight. Go and who else we see? Anyway,
we're well represented in Japan. Next question goes to Ross from WISH TV in Indy.
Nick, hey, congrats on the win this afternoon. Appreciate a moment here. Did you allow yourself to look down the sideline at Coach Nate and cherish that moment a little bit, man?
Yeah, I talked to Nate real quick. Tyler Marsh, assistant as well, that was with me in Rio Grande and also with me in Toronto. Yeah, we exchanged. Nate was in a good mood, better mood than I was, I think.
I connected with Chris Marcus earlier this week, just for a better insight into the Iowa days. Down the road, when this is all said and done, what will you tell folks about this story? It's just such an unbelievable one for so many of us that follow the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, unique in the fact that we grew up 50 miles apart in towns of 8,000 and 10,000, right? In small town Iowa, both of us. And we've shared some really cool moments, obviously, competed against each other in some cool situations. As I said pregame, I hope this is one of many that we're playing, coaching against each other, and that they're for a lot bigger stakes than today's game at some point too.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, Ross.
Next question goes to Josh Lewinberg from TSN.
Hi, Nick. Not always easy for some guys to sit on the bench for a few games, stay ready, and then come in and make an impact like Yuta and DeAndre did tonight. For them to do what they did, what does that say about those guys?
Well, I kind of said, as you guys know, we do a lot of pretty heavy practicing in between games with the kind of back 10 guys, 11, 12 guys, right? They work really hard. We cover everything from defensive schemes to offensive rhythm to special teams things to keep them going. And I give our coaching staff a lot of credit, because it's not always easy to either on those days, Josh, to have those guys, come in and they come in and they're flying around. I mean, you guys have seen them when we're at home, the way we do it sometimes, and they're flying around and playing hard. And that's the way we try to keep them ready. And again, I think it's good credit that they can step up. DeAndre hasn't played in a long, long time, and I thought his minutes were awesome. And it was only going to be a quick one. I just wanted to get Terrence settled down a little bit after kind of back-to-back turnovers, and I told him I was going to put him right back in, and then DeAndre started playing, cutting, moving, a couple transition buckets and guarding well. And again, that's the way we do it. A guy gets a run and gets going, and the run gets extended for those guys.
I also wanted to ask you about OG. He'll be guarding an elite point guard one night, an elite wing the next, and he spent a lot of time in the last few games on Adebayo and Sabonis. Does he have, do you think, a position of strength defensively, or is he just so versatile that it almost doesn't matter at this point?
Well, I think he would tell you he's better on the perimeter. He really thinks he can bother guys on the perimeter more. That's where he feels that, he kind of see him get those steals. You see him kind of chase, almost get guys back on their heels and push, that kind of stuff. I think he would tell you that, but it sure makes it, again, it sure makes it nice that he can be so versatile. And the reason is because of switching, right? If you can switch pick and rolls late, and it took me, I was trying to get Stanley on Brogdon, OG on Sabonis, so we could switch that, because they were kind of taking turns guarding Sabonis anyway. And I kept thinking Nate was going to use one of his timeouts, and he didn't. And I couldn't quite get it on the fly, but we finally got it there at the end. And then we inserted Chris to take Turner, and ended up being a fortunate sub, because Chris ended up getting a block shot there at the end too. So I think he did anyway.
Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
Two more questions for you, Coach. First one goes to Michael Grange from Sportsnet.
Hey, Nick. Nice win. When you see OG just rolling like that, does he remind you of anyone? When he's plucking the ball off in lanes and he's banging up threes. I mean, he can really, really dominate games for stretches at times.
Well, again, I think I don't really have a comparison player for him. He's kind of a little bit unique that way, because he guards all positions, and we're just, again, seeing some expanse of his offense a little bit. But again, a lot of this, it's like we talked about with Norman the other night, it comes with opportunity, right? I mean, you got to a couple of guys that take a good percentage of our offense out, and it's got to shift somewhere, and it's going to shift to your next probably most experienced guys. I don't know how many Fred got up tonight, but you look, OG, Fred, and Norm should be the guys probably taking the high volume shots. And then Chris takes his standard 12. Takes his standard 12 as well. So I think that's more of it, just opportunity. I know I give that answer a lot, but it's opportunity to do some more things out there.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
See you, Michael.
Yeah.
Final question for you, Coach, goes to William Liu from Yahoo Sports Canada.
I believe you didn't give one I'm answering one from the Japanese report, one Japanese reporter tonight, Rowan.
All right.
Sorry, William.
I'll find one for you.
Take your question as well. I don't have anything to do all day now with an early game, so go ahead, William.
Well, look, it's not a question about Utah. I've definitely asked enough about those, but he was obviously great tonight. Stanley, though, can you speak to how valuable his defense was to what you guys wanted to accomplish today defensively, and just the fact that he can pretty much guard all 5 positions, right?
Yeah, he's similar, right? I was really hoping that he wouldn't get in early foul trouble. That was my concern about who to start. It seems Stanley was the logical choice, but I just didn't want him to be a little amped up, and he did. He got a couple of off-ball physicality ones, and I said, you know what? I even told everybody at halftime, I said, I know we've gotten 3 or 4 off-ball fouls, but at least it's a sign we're playing physical. We can live with them, try to do the best you can to get your hands up and use your hips and things like that. But he set a tone there, even though we would have rather not had those been fouls, right? But he set a tone, and again, similar to what you just mentioned, he can cover multiple positions, and hopefully we can just keep growing that role for him a little bit.
And you obviously started him, and you also closed the game with him. That must say a lot about how much you trust Stanley to deliver at the moment.
It does. There wasn't a lot of options there. I left out there tonight with William as well, right? We're missing. That might have factored into it too. I'm playing the best guys available, and that they great job. They took their opportunity, that's for sure.
All right, thanks, Coach. Great win.
Thank you.
All right, we found a Japanese question for you.
Good.
It's going to Yoko Miyagi from Sport Graphic Number.
Good. Hi, Yoko.
Coach. Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, you've been kind of hesitant to put Utah in physical situation when the opponent is kind of physical player. How do you think he did against Miles Turner?
Yeah, no, he did pretty good. I mean, Turner's obviously got great size, and he is big, right? But he does play a lot on the perimeter, which is good, And the one thing, I say about Yuta is he does, he is a little slender and gives up some, weight a lot to his opponents that he ends up there guarding, but he's stronger than he looks. I think, and he battles, and he gives you maximum, effort and fight out there. So, I don't know. Again, I'm kind of just getting to know him, and I like what I see so far. And again, an opportunity with Pascal being out opens up at the 4, and he gets a nice run out tonight. And he did a great hustling kind of team workman-like performance for us. So it was good to see. Like to see him develop. He's an interesting player.